Welcome to HFY Adult Stories. Friends, a heartfelt thank you for always being there for me. Red Heart, it's because of your love and support that I've created a brand new channel to bring you even more exciting and special content. Please head over and subscribe to my new channel. The link is in the description. Your one click means the world to me. Folded hands. She told herself it was just another shift, just another set of quarters to clean. Nothing different about this human compared to the last two she'd been assigned. Yet her tail twitched with nerves as she held the cleaning rod against her chest and stared at the door panel. They had told her humans valued privacy. They had told her not to disturb them while they were in their rest cycle. They had warned her that some humans could be unpredictable when startled awake. But curiosity was a stronger disease than fear. She tapped the door, heard no response, then slipped inside. The room was dim, the soft hum of the ship's engines vibrating through the metal. The smell hit her first, oil, sweat, and something uniquely human she couldn't name. Her eyes adjusted, landing on the shape sprawled across the bunk. He was shirtless, chest rising and falling slowly, one arm flung over his head. And across his lap, there it was. Her pupils dilated. A tool. Long, thick, metallic. The blunt head glinted under the low light, half covered by the sheet but unmistakably present. Her throat went dry. Was this the ritual she'd been warned about? Humans sleeping with their reproductive weapon exposed, daring intruders to stumble upon them? Was this some kind of challenge display? She whispered to herself. It's so large. So heavy-looking. How does he even walk with that thing? The tools shifted slightly as he breathed, clanking softly against the frame. She nearly yelped. It moved. Was it alive? Was it responding to her presence? Her tail puffed as heat rushed to her face. Every cultural briefing she'd read came flashing back in pieces. Humans were fertile year-round, insatiable, prone to sudden mating behavior if provoked. And she was standing right here in his chamber, eyes locked on the massive object sprawled across his lap. She should have turned and left. She should have locked the door and run to the nearest airlock. Instead, she inched closer, whispering under her breath. Do they polish it daily? The surface looks so well-oiled. His lips smacked as he turned his head slightly, muttering something in his sleep. She froze. Her ears burned. Was he summoning her? Was this the moment she was supposed to act? Oh stars, what if this was his way of testing her obedience as his maid? What if she failed the ritual and offended his species? Her mind conjured images she wished it hadn't, him awake, commanding her, pressing that heavy tool against her palms and expecting her to, no, she wasn't ready for that sort of cross-species duty. She backed away quickly, knocking into the edge of his workbench. A wrench fell with a clang. He stirred, groaning, and she nearly passed out on the spot. She bolted for the door, slapping the panel and stumbling into the corridor, chest heaving. Unfortunately, she wasn't alone. Two crew members were passing by, both sharp-eared and curious. They caught her wild eyes, the flush still heating her cheeks, the way her tail whipped behind her. What's wrong? One asked. You look like you've seen a reactor breach. She swallowed, words tumbling out before she could stop them. The human. He's sleeping. With his tool out. Silence. Then both aliens gasped in unison. No. Yes, she blurted, waving her hands helplessly. Right across his lap, huge and gleaming, like he wanted anyone to see it. Their jaws dropped. One covered her mouth in shock, the other leaned closer. So the rumors are true. Humans keep themselves ready at all hours. She winced, realizing she might have started something dangerous. No, wait, I didn't mean. But it was too late. They were already whispering to each other, words dripping with excitement and scandal. How thick was it? Did it move when you entered? Was it warm? Did it pulse? She flailed her arms, panicking. I didn't touch it. They both groaned in disappointment. You were right there. Why didn't you at least measure it? I'm not some pervert, she snapped. Then softer, unable to stop herself. Besides, it looked like it would take 2 hands to handle properly. The crew gasped again, fanning themselves dramatically. 2 hands? Stars preserve us. No wonder their species dominates. Before she could explain, they scampered off, already whispering the story to anyone who would listen. She buried her face in her hands, tail lashing in despair. She hadn't just embarrassed herself, she had just unleashed a rumor that would circle the entire ship within the hour. Behind the door, the human shifted again, scratching his chest before settling back into sleep. His hand brushed the wrench across his lap, knocking it sideways onto the floor. He mumbled something about tightening bolts tomorrow, before snoring again, blissfully unaware that his reputation had just transformed from quiet mechanic to intergalactic fertility idol. By the time she returned to the maid's quarters, whispers were already spreading. A pair of cooks were giggling by the mess hall entrance. A squad of security officers looked unusually flushed, trading smirks. One of her fellow maids cornered her immediately. "Is it true?" she hissed, tail curling like a question mark. The alien maid gulped. What did you hear?" "That the human exposes himself in his sleep, demanding surprise entry." Her ears went flat. "That's not exactly. Tell me everything." She tried to explain, tried to backtrack, but every word she used made it worse. She described the metallic sheen, the way it rested heavy against his lap, the noise it made when it shifted. The others swooned, hearing only what they wanted to hear. One clasped her hands together. "So humans want us to walk in unannounced. That's their ritual. We're supposed to serve them during their rest cycles." "No," the maid yelped, cheeks burning. "That's not what I meant at all." But the giggles only grew louder, the fantasies more elaborate. Someone suggested drawing straws to decide who would, accidentally, walk into his quarters next. Another asked whether lubrication was required, or if humans produced it naturally. The maid nearly fainted. This was spiraling faster than a reactor meltdown. And it was all because she couldn't keep her mouth shut after walking into one sleeping human with his wrench across his lap. As the others dispersed, whispering, plotting, laughing, she sat down heavily, burying her face in her arms. The words she had spoken replayed in her mind. He's sleeping with his tool out. Stars above, she had doomed them all. Meanwhile, the human snored peacefully in his bunk, drooling slightly onto his pillow, one arm still wrapped lazily around his fallen wrench. By the next cycle, the entire ship seemed to be buzzing. Everywhere she turned, whispers followed. She caught fragments of conversations that made her want to crawl into an air duct and never emerge. "They say he doesn't even cover it. Wide as a plasma conduit, apparently. Do you think he notices when we watch?" She slammed her tray onto the mess table, glaring. "Stop it. None of that's true." 3 heads turned at once. One cook leaned in, grinning. "You're the one who saw it. You tell us." She tried to swallow down her panic, but words slipped out anyway. "It wasn't what you think. It was thick, yes, and shiny, but it wasn't alive." The cook gasped dramatically. "He sleeps with a dead one across his lap." "No." She buried her face in her hands. "It's not. I mean, it didn't move unless he shifted." Another interrupted. "So it does move when stimulated." Laughter erupted around the table. She pushed away, tail thrashing in fury, but it was useless. The rumor had grown legs, sprinting faster than she could chase it. By the end of the shift, she discovered the officers had received formal reports. One stopped her in the corridor with a clipboard. "Confirm this for me. Humans require surprise intrusion during mating?" Her jaw dropped. "Where in the stars did you hear that?" "It's spreading through the ranks. They say it's cultural respect. If we don't barge into his quarters while he's resting, he'll feel neglected." She squeaked, pressing both hands to her cheeks. "No, that's not true." But the officer just jotted something down with a smirk. "You're blushing. That means yes." She stormed away, only to nearly collide with another maid running breathless. "He was in the corridor. I saw him standing there, holding it." Her ears shot straight up. "What?" "The tool. He had it in his hands, swinging it casually like it was nothing." Stars, the confidence. She wanted to scream. Of course he'd been carrying it. He was a mechanic. But now the ship was convinced he'd been strutting around, brandishing his anatomy like a challenge flag. When she returned to the quarters, she found him sitting on his bunk, polishing the wrench with a cloth. He glanced up, frowning at her flushed face. "What's with you? You look like you've run a marathon." Her heart pounded. How could he look so casual when half the ship was convinced he was the galaxy's most shameless exhibitionist? "Do you?" she stammered, wringing her hands. "Do you always sleep with it out?" He blinked, then glanced at the wrench. "This? Sometimes. If I'm too tired to put it away." Her eyes widened. He was admitting it openly. "And you don't care who sees?" she whispered. He chuckled. "It's just a tool. Anyone on this ship has one." Her cheeks burned so hot she thought they'd combust. "And not like yours." He paused, eyebrows lifting. "Excuse me?" "Nothing," she yelped, spinning to leave. But he caught her wrist before she could escape. "Wait. What exactly do you think I was doing?" His tone sharpened, amused and suspicious at the same time. She sputtered, trying to yank her arm free. I just saw you lying there, and it was so big and—" He doubled over laughing, releasing her. "Oh stars. You thought—" He slapped his knee, gasping between laughs. "You thought that was me?" Her entire body went rigid. "Wasn't it?" He lifted the wrench, twirling it easily. "This. Just this. What the hell kind of anatomy do you think humans have? She covered her face, groaning. Oh no. Oh no no no. Oh yes, he teased, leaning closer. What did you tell them? She peeked through her fingers at his grin. Nothing, she squeaked. Bullshit. Everyone's been looking at me weird all day. One of the officers called me Handle Master. Handle Master? What the hell did you say? Her tail coiled tight with shame. I panicked. I may have implied something. He threw his head back, laughing so hard he nearly dropped the wrench again. Unbelievable. My poor reputation. I'm doomed. She stamped her foot. It's not funny. They think you want us to intrude during your rest cycles. They're planning. He choked. Planning what? Her voice dropped to a horrified whisper. A rota. His laughter died instantly. A rota? Yes. A schedule. Of surprise visits. He stared at her, dumbfounded. You mean they're organizing a queue to come into my room while I sleep? She nodded miserably. Slowly, a grin spread across his face. Well, that doesn't sound so bad. Her jaw dropped. You can't be serious. Hey, he shrugged, leaning back with infuriating calm. Free attention. Who doesn't want that? She spluttered, tail puffing. You're impossible. Relax, maid, he said, tossing the wrench between his hands. I'll clear it up tomorrow. But she could already hear the muffled giggles outside the door, the shuffle of footsteps too curious to walk away. She imagined half the crew pressing ears against the wall, waiting for the sound of human rituals. She groaned into her palms. We're doomed. He smirked. Or maybe we just started the best rumor this ship has ever had. By the following cycle, she could barely leave her quarters without being ambushed. Everyone wanted details. Crew stopped her in corridors, cooks cornered her in the mess, even officers asked sly questions. Each time she tried to deny it, they twisted her words into confirmation. Finally, she snapped. She marched straight to his quarters, slammed the panel, and stormed inside. He was on his bunk again, stretched out, tinkering with a smaller tool this time. He looked up, smirking instantly. Well, well. If it isn't the ship's gossip engine. Her tail lashed. This is your fault. My fault? He set the screwdriver down, leaning back lazily. You're the one telling everyone I sleep naked and demand midnight visitors. I never said naked, she shrieked, ears burning. You might as well have. He spread his arms in mock surrender. I've been promoted to legendary toolbearer. Congratulations, you made me famous? Her throat worked furiously. You don't understand. They think you want services. From anyone who enters. He arched a brow. Services? Oh, that sounds fun. Maybe I should start charging. Her face went scarlet. This isn't a joke. It is to me. He grinned, patting the bed. Come here, maid. Let's sort this out. She stiffened. I'm not coming anywhere near your tool. Relax. He patted the space beside him again. I won't bite. Unless you ask nicely. She made a strangled sound but sat down anyway, arms crossed, trying to look furious instead of mortified. He leaned closer, voice dropping. So tell me, what exactly did you see that made you panic so much? She chewed her lip. You were lying there, shirtless, and it was just resting across your lap. This? He lifted the wrench, spinning it in his hand. You mean this? Her cheeks burned hotter. Don't do that. What, twirl it around? He chuckled. Come on, it's a wrench. Heavy metal. Nothing biological about it. She muttered. That's not what it looked like in the dark. He smirked. So you really thought? He gestured downward meaningfully. Her ears flattened. Yes, fine. I thought it was attached to you. Happy now? He burst out laughing, falling back against the bunk. Oh stars. You poor thing. No wonder you freaked out. She shoved his shoulder. Stop laughing. I can't help it. That explains everything, the rumors, the questions, the looks. You thought my wrench was my anatomy, and you told everyone. She covered her face, groaning. I've humiliated myself. And you. Not really. He sat up again, grin wicked. If anything, you did me a favor. Now everyone thinks I'm packing heavy artillery. I should thank you. Her tail twitched violently. You're infuriating. And you're adorable when you're embarrassed. She froze, ears twitching. Adorable? He leaned closer, lowering his voice to a teasing purr. Red cheeks, twitchy tail, stammering every time you say the word tool. You look like you're 2 seconds away from fainting. Her stomach flipped. You're cruel. Maybe. He tilted his head, eyes gleaming. Or maybe I'm just enjoying how curious you are. She jolted. I'm not curious. Oh really? He smirked. Then why are you still here? You could have run off again. But you didn't. Her throat felt tight. Because I need this rumor to stop. Sure. His grin widened. Or maybe you want to know what's true and what's not. She opened her mouth, then shut it again. His words coiled around her, sticky and teasing, dragging her into dangerous territory. He leaned even closer, his breath brushing her ear. You ever wonder what would have happened if you hadn't run out that night? Her pulse thundered. She managed to whisper. I might have seen more than I wanted. Or more than you wanted to admit. His tone was low, almost daring. You saw my tool and assumed the worst. But maybe the worst isn't so bad. Her body tensed, tail curling tightly. You're toying with me. He chuckled. I work with tools all day. What did you expect? She groaned. Do you have to turn everything into a double meaning? Yes, he said simply, grin flashing. It's too easy. Especially with you. You hand me setups every time you open your mouth. Her lips pressed into a thin line, but heat simmered under her skin. You enjoy watching me suffer. Not suffer. His gaze softened slightly. Squirm. There's a difference. She swallowed hard, unable to break his gaze. For a moment, silence stretched, heavy with unspoken tension. Then she whispered, almost against her will. What if I wanted to know the difference between your tools? His grin sharpened instantly. Finally. Honest curiosity. Her cheeks flamed. Forget I said that. Too late. He leaned back, smug. Now I know you're thinking about it. Her tail thrashed helplessly. You're impossible. And you're interested. She buried her face in her hands again, groaning. Stars help me. He chuckled, reaching out to gently tug her hands away. Relax. I'm not gonna push you. But you should know, the rumors aren't completely wrong. Her breath hitched. What do you mean? He smirked, leaning close enough for his lips to nearly brush her ear. Humans don't mind surprise entries. We just prefer them from the right person. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She stared at him, wide-eyed, unsure if she wanted to slap him or something else entirely. Outside the door, muffled voices giggled and hushed each other. The rumor mill was alive and thriving, waiting for proof. But inside, the air between them had shifted. She whispered, You're dangerous. He grinned. And you walked right into my room anyway. She tried to leave, but he caught her wrist gently, his grin impossible to resist. Stay. I want to explain something. Her heart slammed, tail twitching nervously. Explain what? That the rumors are true. Partially. He tilted the wrench in his hands, spinning it lightly. But not like everyone thinks. Her ears flattened. Not like everyone thinks? He leaned back, eyes glinting with mischief. I meant, my tool isn't what they imagined. It's more mechanical. She groaned, tail lashing. You're enjoying this way too much. Not enough. He patted the space beside him, smirk widening. Sit. Let me show you the difference between a real tool and me. Her cheeks flared red, but curiosity, a dangerous, creeping heat, forced her to sit anyway. He began unpacking his toolbox, one metallic piece at a time. This one drills holes, that one hammers nails, this one, multi-purpose. He said, glancing at her with a wink. But this one. He lifted the wrench again. Works best in my hands. She choked on a laugh, swatting his arm. Stop it! You sound like a mechanic giving a tutorial to a very naughty class. I am giving a tutorial, he said smoothly. You just didn't know the curriculum was advanced. Her ears twitched nervously, tail curling around her legs. I'm not here for whatever this is. Too late, he murmured, leaning closer. You're already fascinated. Her stomach flipped. I'm not. He grinned, his hand brushing hers as he lifted another tool. Then why are you still sitting here, staring at my hands? She swallowed hard. Curiosity. Of course, he said, voice low, teasing. Curiosity killed the cat. And the maid. She groaned, tail thumping. Stop making everything sound dirty. Not everything. He leaned closer, eyes glinting with humor. Just the parts you care about. Her cheeks flamed. You're impossible. And you like it. Her jaw dropped. Do not. He smirked, tracing a finger along her shoulder, letting her shiver. Do not what? Do not toy with me. Too late, he said, voice husky. I've been training for this my whole life. Handling tools, teasing aliens. Her heart raced, ears pressed back. You're insane. And you're here. He leaned even closer, nearly brushing his lips against hers. So you clearly don't mind. Her tail lashed. I have to leave. Or stay, he interrupted, voice dropping to a whisper. Learn the difference between a tool and a human. She froze. You mean, physically? He chuckled, eyes twinkling. If you want the lesson, yes. Her throat tightened. Maybe? Good, he murmured, sliding closer. Step 1. Handling tools safely. The first attempt was chaos. She tried to touch the wrench to see how it worked, but it slipped, clanging against the metal bed frame. He laughed, catching it before it could fall. See? That's why you need training. Training! She shrieked. You're making this worse. He only grinned. Nope. Step 2. Proper lubrication. He grabbed a small oil can from the toolbox, dripping a tiny bit onto the wrench. She blinked. That's ritual oil? No, cleaning oil, he said, voice low. But I won't stop you from imagining. Her ears burned, tail twitching nervously. She leaned in, hand brushing against the smooth metal, marveling at the weight. It's heavier than I thought. Requires 2 hands, he said, smirking. And careful handling. Her breath caught. Like humans? He laughed. Exactly like humans. She froze, shivering. You're comparing me to a wrench? Not comparing, he said softly, eyes glinting. Showing how careful you need to be. Her pulse hammered as he leaned closer again, hand brushing her arm. Step 3. Proper engagement. Her face flamed. I don't know if I'm ready. You're already engaged, he whispered, lips brushing her ear. Mentally, emotionally, and soon physically. She whimpered softly, tail curling tighter around her legs. Stars, you're infuriating. And you love it, he teased. Do not. He pressed closer, teasing, brushing hands and lips alternately. Do not what? I might faint if you keep this up. Then hold on tight, he said, catching her in a playful embrace as the tension broke. Step 4. Hands-on training. The first attempt at practice was slapstick. Tools fell, she slipped on the oil, and his laughter rang through the quarters. Careful. You're treating me like one of the machines. I can't help it, she gasped, tail flicking helplessly. Good, he whispered. You care. The room erupted in small chaos, metallic clanks, giggles, stifled gasps, and playful shoves. Each time she tried to focus, his teasing got worse, and she found herself laughing even while blushing, trying to regain composure. By the end, both of them were sprawled on the bunk, breathing heavily, hair mussed, clothes slightly askew. The wrench lay innocently beside them, a silent witness to the lesson. She blinked, voice trembling. So, the rumors. He smirked, brushing a strand of hair from her face. True in spirit, not in fact. Humans don't demand surprise visitors, but they do enjoy a willing apprentice. Her ears twitched, tail curling contentedly. You're impossible. And you're addicted to curiosity. She groaned, resting her head against his chest. Maybe. But if this is what curiosity brings, I'll survive. He laughed softly, brushing her hair. Good. Then welcome to your training. Handle with care. And remember, rumors are powerful, but experience is better. Outside the door, a muffled chuckle traveled down the corridor. Somewhere, someone whispered about human tools, rumors alive and thriving. Inside, the maid and the human shared a quiet, intimate laugh, the tension finally melting into something far more enjoyable than gossip.